that had said, let us invest in Monster to train young filmmakers, because they need these filmmakers to make them promotions, right?
Yes.
They run adverts every day, but have they ever caught mind to say, let's invest in Monster, who is one of the greatest filmmakers here, or the guy on the camera, to train other young people so that they can learn, so that we don't get this money that they pick every day, take to South Africa, take to Kenya, to make these adverts. It's very simple. I don't think anyone had thought about that. But they need to consume, and if they find that the quality is not of what they expect, they shift it, they ship it to South Africa, they go to Kenya. So I think they have not done anything, and they shouldn't lie you when they said, when we've supported Arakeli to come. Who benefits from Arakeli's arrival? You know, we've supported Chigunda. Who benefits from that? I think we need to think, they need to think about the future, and the future is not only just giving money to an agency to make adverts. It's also investing in institutions, in training spaces, in capacities, in venues and areas where people can have room and space to learn and be able to add on to what is there.
Wow.
None of them is doing that.
Wow. Monster, your take on that one. I mean, Faisal raises very valid points.
Those are very valid points, actually, Faisal. Thank you. But when it comes to my angle, I have a 50-50 on what Faisal was saying.
Yes.
There's a lot of information out there, as you know, for we creatives to consume, or to any other Ugandan, by the way, to consume. I can give you an example of the Stanbic incubator.
Yes.
That's something that we registered for this year as Ebony Heights, and we are attending. You know, the course, and it's amazing. It has opened our eyes to so many things that we did not even think about. Even us, when we're responding or talking to them, we tell them things and they're like, oh, wait a minute, because I think we're the only filmmakers there. I don't know if there's any other that has been there before, but at least for this year, we're the ones there, and we're asking them or telling them things that they had not put into consideration, especially when it comes to our sort of business. You know, so it's amazing. All the creatives should actually think of such courses. It's free, you know. It's free, and we've learned so much from it. That's one. Two, the corporate world itself have got a way they do things that might not be applicable to most of us. Or let's say a registered company. They want to come to Faisal, and Faisal is Byemanzi, but they want to talk to him as Byemanzi. You know what I'm saying? So there's a way they do their things because of probably how their structure is designed. You know, so maybe we also as creatives, we need to have, what's the right word? We need to have, or to put that effort, see ourselves organized. I think that's the problem we have. We're everywhere.
And nowhere.
And nowhere at the same time. When Faisal suggests that, hey guys, I have given you a week, come to the island, let's brainstorm about how we can make these things work. One don't go like, I don't know if Faisal. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, our idea is
going to just whatever. You see it. So we've got all these kind of hurdles. And I think why the corporates are probably not even coming in to give a hand is because they don't even know where to start from. They don't know where. Bababu's auntie, for example, if they ask filmmakers, Mudiwa, where do they go to? You see what I'm saying?
They have nowhere to go.
I think they have nowhere to go to. Then, of course, we have UCC. I think UCC, that's one of the biggest hurdles we have.
It's about, you know, collect this from these guys.
Yes,
not be part of
that's
the process of the growth.
That's really unfortunate. But I pray that we sit with them on one table and make this work. That's why I think probably, and that's the biggest reason. That's why I think the corporate department hasn't come to us, because we are disorganized. What was the other question?
The other question that what opportunities do they have?
Oh, okay, opportunities. One of the opportunities I gave was the Stanbic incubator. Those platforms are available for everyone. You jump on them, you're going to learn a lot. Secondly, we guys already, as Ebony Heights, we've said, okay, what are we adding to the creatives around there? The young guys, these young guys who are camera operators, have been operating camera for 20 years.
Yes.
What am I saying? I'm saying, okay, 20 years down the road, amazing, thank you very much.
Masterclass.
And I'm saying,
Yes.
we've had a training for one of our clients who brought in about 20 of their team.
Wow.
We're training them visual mixing, we're training camera, we're training directing. You know, so we've got a guy like Shap Sewali, training and teaching young guys about directing.
Wow.
We've got Mehdi who's been doing wonders with visual mixing.
Yes.
Then we've got Pato, Ijobi on camera. So we've got even other people on board, but of course the client has got specifics. I want my team to be trained on A, B, C, D. But we've got a whole entire list of people that are willing to come out there and say, hey guys, most if you get the opportunity for guys who want to learn about lighting, I'm available. So we're doing that already.
Wow, the spaces are beginning to give us.
Yes, so we're saying we did 1 week, the lockdown came, we gave it a space of a week, and then we went online. And
welcome to the program. This is the Creative Industry Talk. My name is Okila, and my guest this morning is the man who has been in the industry for a very long time. The man who most people believe is naturally a talented person, is naturally a person who speaks his mind out, is naturally a person who knows what he's doing, is naturally a person who cracks jokes. In fact, a friend of mine said he should just, every time he does a skit, he should just give him a moment and just share. He wants to pay for it. Richard, welcome to Creative Industry Talk. How are you this morning?
I'm very fine. You just reminded me. I've lost money.
Yes, you've lost money.
I've not shared with him.
Yes, he said whenever you do a skit, just send me and send the invoice immediately. And I said, wow, I wish I would have a talent and gift like Richard, where I don't have to work very hard and the money just finds me.
Boss, we sweat.
I know. But welcome to the program, Richard. We want to say thank you very much. And how have you been?
I haven't. I've been okay.
Yeah.
I have constantly been COVID negative.
Okay.
Yeah. I assume.
That's a very good one. Yes.
I've not tested in a long time.
Yes.
But we're okay. A lot has changed. We have tried to change with the change.
Yes.
Yes. And along the way, you discover here, you lose here. But we stay above the water.
Yes, yes. I just want to take you straight to Richard to the first question we always ask on the Creative Industry Talk. Who is Richard Tuwangye if I am looking for you? Are you Ugandan? If yes, what are the values define you as Ugandan? Yes, that question is usually a question that gets so many people punching on the streets of Kampala and across the world. If you ask them a question, who are you? Some people assume that everyone knows them. And yes, we see you on TV every other day. Yes, we see you all across Africa. But who is Richard in a nutshell?
That is a very difficult question. Because personally, I believe some people's values change along the way. It is a life is a game of discovery and rediscovery of self. But personally, I believe Tuwangye is a Ugandan who is a multifaceted entertainer. Who has his hands in not just one thing, actor, comedian. I don't know whether I should call myself a singer. I think I'm safe calling myself a singer, not a musician.
We're going to sample that song already.
Are you serious?
We're on the Creative Industry Talk.
So I do a bit of music. I'm a producer on a wider scale because most of the art I do, I also produce. Some with the team, some alone. And as a human being, I stand for good for all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That right there is quite a deep statement. I stand for good for all. I would like to take this moment, first of all, to welcome everyone to the Creative Industry Talk from all across the world. Thank you very much, all our brothers and sisters in the United States of America. I hope you did not jump on that plane and you're part of the 600 people from Afghanistan, you know. And of course, to all the creative people all across the world, we want to say thank you very much and welcome to the space for the creative right here in Kampala, the capital city of Uganda, going to the rest of the world. Richard,
Yes.
welcome to the show. And now that we know you, and now that we understand who you are, just away from seeing you on TV, our topic on the Creative Industry Talk today is about creativity for business success in Uganda.
Yeah.
Creativity for business success in Uganda. When we posted this yesterday, a lot of people wrote back and they were asking, creativity for business success in Uganda? They don't even understand what creativity is. Now you are putting the mix of success in it. And I mean, how are we going to do it? So I said, well, we will have to have a discussion about this. And of course, we're going to be joined by Faisal Kiwewa. We were supposed to be joined by, Jeremy Byemanzi from Nomad Advertising. But unfortunately, Jeremy has got an emergency that needs to attend to. He will be joining us next week. Okay. And of course, we want to take a moment to welcome Faisal Kiwewa all the way in the outside countries. How are you doing in the cold?
Thank you so much, Eddie. I am okay. I just arrived like 5 minutes ago in Antwerp. It's I would say the capital of the Flanders in Belgium. So it's where I am, and I had to find my way to get to the show. So I'm very excited to join you guys.
Very much, Faisal. Thank you very much, Faisal, first of all, for joining us. I hope you have had a very good ride on the train. In Uganda here, when we talk about the train, we only remember in the 60s. I don't know whether Richard... Our train hasn't yet been...
I know nothing about trains in Uganda. I just read. What I see down there below Ginger Road, I think those are just carriers, you know.
Wow.
Train has...
Yes, and when my uncle tells me the trains were good, so seeing Faisal ride on the train in Europe, it's quite an amazing stuff. But gentlemen, welcome to the show. So today we want to just ride straight to this, discussion. I want to give you a context, Richard. There is artistic creativity.
Yes.
And there is a more general kind of creativity that we see in people that could also be called the ingenuity, innovation, the lateral thinking outside the box. We've heard people talk about this very much, or simply the problem solver.
Yes.
And we are going to mix the two together to basically find what is best for us in our discussion today. We're talking about creativity for business in Uganda and the success. But the context here is that creativity in business is a nifty way of thinking that always inspires people, challenges people, and also help people to find innovative solutions that create opportunities that we always use in our day-to-day life, okay?
Yes.
And of course, opportunities out of problems are key, and we're talking about the pandemic situation right now. The COVID-19 has brought, a challenge in the industry. But how are we turning these opportunities and challenges to actually create opportunity to solve the problems that we have or we had already before? It is also the reason some individuals, of course, and companies attract our attention to either goods and services or to products that we need. Yes. Yeah. It comes from the creative mind. The idea, the amazing ideas sometimes seems very, far-fetched, and other times is merely the follow habit, and some people really just go through with whatever the flow is.
Yeah.
But today on the show, I want to take you straight to this background.
It is a very important skill to have. Unfortunately, it is not for all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, the nature's laws, I think, dictated like that. Because, I mean, if all of us were creative, it would be so hard to cope with the world. I mean, you're trying to catch on this and something new has come. Yeah. But that is where we are going. Yeah. It is very important to be creative because it helps you stand out in whatever sector.
Yeah.
I believe it. When you come, most of us are followers before we get creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always a trend, whether in banking, the arts,
Yeah.
the sports. There's always a trend, and that trend, at whatever given time
Yeah.
in history or in the future,
Yeah.
it will have been brought about by a few creative minds.
Yes.
So, like you said, it's the creative ones who create even opportunities, not for just themselves,
Yeah.
but for
Others.
others.
Yeah.
And without just limiting it to art, it is so important that if a particular sector is so clogged with competition, chances are the one who is going to slide off the conventions
Yeah.
will either stand out or it's not a win all the time. Because
Yes.
you can create your way
Yeah.
to your failure.
That's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely
So
true.
it is important to be creative, but it's also important to create with high regard of the audience.
Wow.
That you're creating for. Most cases, creative people are also very egoistic. So when the idea comes and he likes it, you're not going to try and tone his idea down.
This is my idea.
To
kind of
match the
situation.
targeted audience.
Yes.
He wants to run it the way he has thought about it.
Yeah.
So creativity is very important, but also most important is who are you creating for?
Wow. Faisal Kiwewa, all the way in outside countries, you've heard from Richard. Richard is saying that it is important that the creativity is important skill for a person to have. Do you agree with Richard, Faisal? And also on that background, Faisal, how do we, profit from the creativity in business, if at all it?
So much. First of all, to compliment Richard for how he looks. I mean, you can see that creativity has made on some weight. Despite all of us who are losing weight during this COVID, Richard is gaining weight, which is good to see that a creative man. Excitingly, I would say. I totally agree with his notion on yes, creativity is necessary. It's not for everyone, but it's also something that we need nurture in everyone. That's why we encourage our children at a young age to really try to practice different things, test different experiences, so that they could define themselves in the future, whatever course they take in life. Be not just redundant, dependent on what they're told to do or what they must do, but also be supportive of our community. And I'm always fascinated creatives really contribute to changes that we see in societies. And you can see in Europe, you find a lot of things done, but not necessarily provided by authorities, governments, but by individuals who find hardships in terms of their day-to-day life, and they think about solutions to go through these hardships. And those solutions then eventually become public necessities or public goods that everyone now needs to use. For example, you can, if you walk around, or if you move around, like just what you talked about at the beginning, the necessity of having a train. I woke up in Holland this morning at 6:40, and by 10 I'm in Belgium. I'm having a conversation here. So that thought of creativity to say, you can call it also innovation, to make people's lives easier is really what our country would need more of this kind of input in our day-to-day life. Yeah.
Richard, you've had the man woke up in Finland and
Faisal, was that meant to make me feel guilty? Because I'm the reason this show started late. Just from Muyenga to Bukoto.
Yes, he has juggled so much traffic and a lot of things have happened. But you see, Richard, that's why we're saying if there's a creative way of thinking about stuff, would be able to save and there'll be a lot more success. And that really resonate with our topic today. Richard, what jobs are in the creative industry? We're starting to build these things about our discussion today. What jobs do you think are available? You're already earning out of it.
The creative industry.
Yes.
First, it is so wide. Yeah. people look at the creative industry. When you say creative industry, they think about the creative performance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see, those aside, you know, we have people behind the scenes. You know, the producers, the guys who do the technical work, and then the creative industry does not just carry the artistically creative or the performing artists. Yeah. You know, we are living in a time where, you know, life has changed. The phone is now a performing space.
Yeah.
The internet is a performing space. So, you know, you're holding your phone and you have a multitude of stages here. Yeah. You're free to choose. You know, which the one? People who create all those spaces are also creatives. They are at a very different plane of creativity also. Yeah. But you know, all creatives are important. Yeah. Personally, I think to a certain extent we are important in equal measure. Yeah. Because Mr. Eddie Okila is going to have a platform here that is so different from other platforms. Yeah. And the reason he shaped it that way is to serve a certain, you know, segment of audience, TV viewing content seeking audiences. Yeah. But Okila will need the performers on. Yeah. Okila will be the producer, the performers will be there, the writers are going to get jobs. That's why sometimes me in Uganda here, like the only way we can have as many creatives incorporated into the creative industry is for those who can create to focus on churning out the art. Yeah. The more art you put out, the more people you pull into the value-adding chain. Yes. Of the final products. Wow. That I have experienced along the way when we seek to grow. You create more, and you realize along the way we have, you know, brought in this big number of contributors to the final product.
Wow. Well, Richard and Faisal, this is a very interesting part of the show. The jobs that the creative industry have. I want to dive to Faisal in Belgium. Faisal, you've heard from Richard. What jobs do you think we have available in the creative industry?
I think, you know, as Richard said at the beginning, the creative industry is really huge. When we start mentioning the sectors within, I would call them, some are sectors because they're informal, others are industries because they're formal. But there are also those formal and informal industries within the creative industry, or the creative arts, or the creative behavior, I would say. But the kind of jobs, let's start with, you know what we are doing. So we are in the arts. I'm a programmer, and that whole line of business you are familiar with. Richard is in the in theater and comedy, and you know, that chain of business is very familiar to us. We know what they are doing, and I think maybe what is different in this case is like the acknowledgement of the actual number of people or number of jobs that are associated in our line of work. When people see Richard performing at the National Theatre or at the comedy scene, when they do it, their grand shows every month, people don't really understand the amount of work that is put in, leave alone the creative process of writing the skits they do.
We are live on Facebook, on YouTube, and all across the world in all our platforms. By the way, we're live on our, www.houseoftalentuganda.com. It's live, it's streaming for everyone across the world, so please enjoy. We want to hear your comment, kisses, and this is coming. We love to hear them. We love to hear them. If you're doing well, kiss us. If you think we're doing bad, diss us. We are okay. We are creative people. We take this. Richard,
yes,
you've heard what Faisal just said, and I like the first two questions and three questions. I want to go to the third question, which is, what are the types of creativity that we can can profit from? You know, we're talking about creativity, and we're always talking about creative people. Faisal just said something very interesting. 1,500 people worked at the concert, a festival. Whenever we see you on stage, we don't understand that the Fun Factory has got a shipload of people behind just Richard to look good on screen and to be, looking nice and to speak whatever is speaking nice on stage. Yes. There are a lot of people behind there. So I want to just ask you a question. What type of creativity is there for businesses to harness? Given your experience as a stage performer, as a copywriter, which means you're writing a lot of copies to corporate companies for products to be communicated about, to be consumed. What do you think the types of creativity that is there that we can profit from?
As businesses?
Yes. As individuals as well as businesses, yes.
You just mentioned some of the most important ones there. First, just the creativity to produce art that can just, touch people's hearts and lift their moods, and maybe also help them think, in certain thought processes that they wouldn't have if they had not consumed certain pieces of art. That creativity is very important. That one is that, I think that is the longest serving kind of creativity for humankind, because I mean, since the medieval times, that kind of creativity is demanded for leisure. Now, creativity for business development, where some of these there are talents that can be applied in all those places. Now, we have people like me who applied their talents in spaces like copywriting, where you use your creativity to nail a message or speak to a company's potential customer, and also speak to the one they have, so that you need that creativity between you, the brand owner, and the brand consumer. You need some creativity there to keep these people emotionally connected to your product.
Wow.
Sometimes you might be good enough at designing the product. But you're not as good enough at gaining and maintaining the confidence and emotional connect to your product. That is when you need people who can, pick that creativity off the stage, apply it in this business space also. The creativity of, the world has become so visual. The world is so visual that if you have a message and you do not design it in maybe typography, you're not going to. You have to apply some typography. So and creativity has really, to me, we are living in a time where creatives have to be very awake to the fact that